I came out around 3:34 a.m. And then what happened is I got a call from my brother-in-law, and I put my phone on to see if if any work would come through. For some reason my phone wasn't working. Well, I know the reason now. My app wasn't working. I realized I didn't go on a job because I wasn't meant to. My brother-in-law called, said he had broken down his car. Could I come and help him? I was like, 5 o'clock in the morning? You sure, buddy? What if I was sleeping? But the guy knows, so what can I do? Anyways, now of course, if he needs help, I'm there, right? That's what brothers are for. And that's why they're in law, because you might get the law involved. I'm playing. Anyways, back to the story. So, I went down there, helped him out. It's like, don't break down again. Sent him on his way. He was cool. And then had my phone on. Alhamdulillah, it's working again. Phone's working. Okay, good. So I was feeling fresh. I was like, no one really wants to work like at that time it was around 6 o'clock in the morning. No one really wants to work around 6 o'clock in the morning, right? I was feeling fresh. I was like, look, I go home, it's hot, it's humid, there ain't no really like wind coming to kind of like cool me down. It's most likely that, my daughter's kind of got out of bed and climbed into my bed. So now, it's gonna be like a little heater. It's gonna be climbing on me. It's better if she wakes up and then I can go sleep. Or I just go sleep in her bed, Anyways, get back to the point. So, I must have taken this job, right? It was local. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know where the destination was gonna be, but it was only down the road. So I pick up this guy. Yeah. Now this guy, this young lad, he looked like Jonah Hill. Okay, Jonah Hill from Superbad or 21st Jump Street. Yeah, he looked like him, right? He was kind of acting like the way Jonah Hill was kind of acting in that End of Days type film, the guy at Spider-Man. Anyways, and 127 hours. But anyhow, so I may not camp, but anyway, let me get to the point. So I must have said to him, like, he gets in the car. I was like, hey, how's it going? I was like, early start, right? I was like, hey, early start, huh? He's like, nah, not really. I didn't really sleep. And I was like, oh, really? I've been awake too. And he's like, yeah, no, I did. I went to bed, but I didn't sleep. I don't sleep. And I was like, oh, what, you got insomnia? He was like, nah, I just don't really. Just turn that off. I don't even need it. I just don't sleep. I was like, oh, okay. Why? Is it the area? Like this area seems kind of quiet. And he's like, nah, I don't live here. This is my in-laws. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what area do you live? And he's like, oh, I used to live, but I don't live there anymore. I was like, okay. So then I was like, so in-laws, yeah? How long you been married? And he's like, 2 years. I'm like, right, okay. I said, you seem kind of young. How old are you? He's like, I'm 19. I was like, whoa, you got married at 17, yeah? He's like, yeah. But it was a runaway marriage. So I was like, oh, ran away. I was like, so your family have a problem with your marriage? And he was like, yeah, kind of. I was like, where are you from? And he's like, oh, I'm Indian. I was like, what religion? He's like, I'm a Hindu. So I was like, ooh. Then I was like, hold on, they could be quite cool sometimes. I've spoken to Hindus, Indian Hindus, and sometimes, obviously there's kind of, you get the in every race and religion you get a couple like, stricts, but majority of them seem like alright. They seem kind of like they can be respectable and stuff. So I was like, what was the problem? And then he was kind of like, no, wait, hold on. I asked him something like, I think I said, so didn't they like the girl? And he's like, yeah, it wasn't a girl, it was a dude. And that kind of threw me off because I wasn't expecting that. He was just like, I was like, wait, what? I said, it was a guy. He said, yeah. And I was like, at first I was thinking, damn, I didn't know you could get married 2 years ago to a guy. But then I was like, whoa, this story just took a twist. I was not expecting that. So then I was like, where's the guy from? He's like, Iranian. I was like, okay. And I was like, what religion? He's like, Muslim. I was like, really? And then I was just like, whoa. And then I realized, hold on, he just said that he was at his in-laws, right? So I'm like, what, are they not practicing? He goes, no, the parents are strict. They're like militant. They're like really strict. But he's not really kind of like, he don't really believe in anything. He's kind of, I guess, kind of like an atheist. He's just like, you know, whatever. I mean, you would have to be of that view if you wasn't, you know, because obviously certain religions kind of have like restrictions on certain things. So, you know, it'd be a kind of a contradiction. But this guy, I mean, he seems so confused. Anyways, the story, you know, the plot thickens, right? So I was like, okay, so you've been together for 2 years, yeah? How's it going? And he's like, oh, I'm getting a divorce. I was like, what? I was like, why? He's like, oh, because, you know, it was going good until basically, oh no, I think I said to him, oh, all right. So I said, like, you know, I asked about his family and stuff, and I said, well, was it worth it? Are you happy? And he goes, I was, up until he put his hands on me. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, I think he thinks it's all right that he can abuse me or something like that, right? He basically was getting roughed up, and that's when he started sounding like a woman, like, you know, like a woman when they're having trouble with their relationship. He started kind of sounding like that, and I was just kind of like, okay. And I guess this is where the whole, I mean, I don't mean to stereotype. I've never really had a conversation like this. Like I said, it kind of threw me off, but you can see who wears the trousers, basically, right? Kind of sounds like an odd thing to say because they both wear trousers, but anyway. So I was just like, I didn't know where to start. I was thinking, I was thinking that, you know, I speak to this guy, and, you know, always in my mind, it seems like the Dawah's there, right? The Dawah. But I was like, man, I got to start at another point this time. But this journey was so short. So I was just getting kind of like bullet points of this guy's life. And they were just coming at me like, well, like bullets, right? And I was just like, all right, so where do you see this going? Like, you know, and he was just like, oh no, it's ended because, I think it's ended because it's like, you know, I'm not willing to stay with a guy that's going to be kind of putting his hand on me. So I asked him, I said, look, you know, bro, have you ever been with a woman? And he was like, yeah, but I didn't know what to do. I was like, dude, no one knows what to do when they're 17. You know, that's something normal. This kid seemed so confused. He seemed like, you know, the lack of guidance was there. You could really see it. I mean, I'm sure there's people that are going to watch this and going to be like, oh, this guy is like, you know, his views and this and that, you know. But, I mean, the guy, he didn't really look like he had a clue what the hell he was doing, man. It sounded like someone had said, hey, yo, this is a good idea, why don't you try it? And then he tried it and he kind of flopped. And he realized, oh, man, this ain't no correct. Like, it's not what you expected. And I mean, this is the guy's life he's playing with here, yeah? He's run away from his family. You know, like when a family disowns you and stuff, it's a major thing. Trust me. Expertise talking, yeah? Not that my family disowned me, but like, you know, anyways. But, so, just saying, you know, it's a cultural thing. It's a big thing, right? If anyone knows, the Asians know, yeah? Like, so he's done all of that. And like, what was it for? Nothing. Because now he's going for a divorce because he's not happy. Okay, yes, everything, you know, you go on a journey and you don't know what's down the road. Fine, fair enough. But at 17 years old, like, I started thinking, wow, this guy is young and he's made these major decisions. And like, you can't be, should have just put that on from time ago. I didn't realize. Anyways, I had to record during the day. I mean, it is kind of day because it's light, but you know, anyhow. So, I just thought, wow, this guy is 17 years old. I mean, can you make such decisions? I mean, it goes two ways. Like, when I was 17, I think I I knew what I wanted. I mean, I thought I knew what I wanted. And in fact, I was quite determined. I was just like, my heart was set, boy. I was just like stuck in my ways, and nothing was going to change it, no matter what anyone said. So, you know, everything has its repercussions. But I think we are not at the maturity level as the generations before us. You know, those previous generations, when they were young, and when, I mean, you know, like in history, we have really young 16, 17-year-olds leading armies and leading the way. We have, I think, even like, for example, Quilliam, I think he was like 19 when he went to Egypt and started, you know, and that guy's a pioneer in British Islam, because he was the guy who kind of came over and built the first masjid, and then brought Islam over, was given the dawah, and he reverted many Muslims. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless his soul and grant him Jannata Firdaus. I mean, so it was quite an interesting. I mean, it was really like, it threw me off. It really did. I really didn't know where to start, and the journey was so short. You know, I made dua for the brother, of course, and I wished him all the best. I told him to stay positive, because he seemed like he had this really negative outlook on life. And I was like, look, that's not going to be helping you. You know, if you're going to think negative and you're going to be about I mean, this is the thing, you know, like when you have at least when you have some type of faith, you're kind of positive. You really are, because you have this like positive outlook on life. You kind of have this trust that things are going to go well. And there was a big difference within just kind of like, whatever, and not really having any kind of like guidance or channel. You know, you don't focus your channel on stuff on a specific thing. If it's very random, it's hard to kind of like have that, you know. You need a foundation. You gotta build a house, right? What's the saying? You build a house, you don't build it on sand. So that's basically what it is. And you know, I think this guy's built his dreams and his hopes and stuff, and unfortunately it didn't really work out for him. I think he's learned the hard way, and he's gonna be, you know, but let's all pray for him. Let's pray for his happiness, and hope that he kind of, you know, gets it together and sorts himself out. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Thanks for listening.